something on your mind anytime, I'm here to listen. Sister Talk. When you need someone who understands, I know what you're missing. Sister Talk. No matter what you're going through, don't worry, I ain't going nowhere. Sister Talk. If you ever feel alone, say the word, I'll be right there. Sister Talk. Sister, 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 sister talk, sister, 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 sister talk, sister, 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 sister talk, sister. Ooh, sister talk.
Heartbreak opens onto the sunrise, for even breaking is opening. And I am broken. I'm open. See the love shine in through my cracks. See the light shine out through me. My spirit takes journey, my spirit takes flight, and I am not running. I am choosing.
I know for homecoming that I want to go with Craig.
And who are you going to go with, Lee?
I'm not going.
What do you mean you're not going?
If she doesn't want to go, she doesn't have to go.
Got to keep doing my thing. I got to keep doing my thing.
For some reason, Lee just doesn't like anything I pick out for her anymore.
You look beautiful, baby.
This isn't me.
There's this new women's club up there by the liquor store. You haven't heard anything about it, right?
I never even heard of it.
Like I just won't
What if, say, somebody liked you?
make it.
What if the person is kind of like a friend, but you know they like you more than that?
Chasing after the wrong route. Ooh, do you know what do you do?
I told you, I talked to Alike. Everything's fine.
Did you ask her?
No, because I don't have to.
You don't want to face the facts.
No,
You don't
Emma,
want
that's
to
not
face the
true.
damn
Look,
facts.
you-
Your daughter is turning into a damn man right in front of your
no,
eyes, and
take
you
that
can't
back.
say it.
I am broken. I am broken open. Breaking is freeing. Broken is freedom. I am not broken. I'm free.
I got to keep doing my thing. I got to keep doing my thing.
That is a smooth, nice trailer. Before we really get into the roles that you played, Pernell, I want to ask both of you all, why is it important that a coming-of-age movie about black teenage lesbian is so important? Why is this movie so important?
Well, I think the story of it is really universal, and it had to be as specific as possible because it's just telling about people coming of age, going through a transformation period in their life, whether you're gay or straight, where you're coming into your own as a person. And that story of coming into your own as a person it really resonated among people that saw the film, among parents that had transgender teens with them, and just had them think in a different way that, you know, how to relate to their child. And I think it's just really important to have that dialogue, especially within the African American community where a lot of this stuff isn't talked about.
Right, yes.
Or the kids are just ostracized sometimes,
Right.
and just left to kind of fend for themselves. Like my character, Laura,
Right.
in the film, she had the estrangement between her mother, and shout out to Ozzy Stewart, who is here, came out to support. Thank you so much. She was a wonderful person on set and just so generous.
Oh, really? She played
to
your
me.
mom?
Yeah.
Okay.
And a lot of kids deal with that. We hear about on a lot of news channels about the suicide rate,
Yes.
depression, and just trying to find your own place.
You know, I saw the movie. I thought the movie was excellent.
Thank you.
And I felt that the movie just wasn't about lesbianism. I just thought it was about again, finding your own place. Why do you think the movie is so important, Honey Child?
I agree with a lot of what you said. I also feel like it shows the view of Alike kind of figuring out who she is as a person. what she likes to do socially.
And Enrique was played by Adele Pedro?
Yes.
Okay.
And also her relationship with Laura was really important because sometimes when you're a teenager, you realize like you have your friends, but maybe your life is going in a different direction and how to hold on to both worlds. That part struck me the most, just as a viewer. But just seeing also different kinds of teenagers and different kinds of Black people on screen was really refreshing.
And not stereotyped.
No stereotypes.
No.
And that was such, well, not surprising, but, refreshing for me.
Yeah.
It sort of dispelled the myth about homosexuals, lesbianism, and so forth. The roughness, although, you had some actors that were rough, but, the physical roughness, they want every woman that they see. That wasn't in that at all. And lesbians can be friends, have platonic relationships.
Exactly.
So I thought that was very refreshing. So forth. How did you get the role?
Oh, well, it started from the short in 2006.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I auditioned. I saw a casting notice through my school, Actor Studio Drama School, and I auditioned for the role as Laura. And my headshot at the time was like this big glamour shot. Oh my God, that looked nothing like myself. So I was like, oh my God, this project is so amazing. I need to get in on this, but this headshot is not a Laura. This is some like top model, fan blowing craziness.
Okay.
So what I did was I put my heart and soul in a really good cover letter and just let her know how much I wanted to be in this project and how I related to Laura. I come from the South Bronx. There was a lot of rough elements. I had a good family that always, watched after us, protected us from all of that other stuff that was happening in the streets.
Right.
But I connected with Laura feeling like a pariah in my own life because I was a big tomboy like Laura. So that's how I got on board, and they invited me back to do the feature 3 years later. So
on your show, yeah.
I was going to ask you,
yes.
I'll get into let's talk film in a second, but I was going to ask, how did you prepare for the role?
Okay, well, you have the script.
Of course.
And most times you don't get a script that's as well written as this, where most of your work is already done. So that was like a breath of fresh air to me. And she was very specific. She wrote for human beings. I didn't see any cliches in it, and still very nuanced as a new director coming out. So how I prepared, I read the script. I asked whatever questions I had of the director, and then I knew who Laura was by reading it because it was so specific. You're not going to see her in any tights or anything like that. You could tell she was an AG. She likes baggy clothes.
AG, what's that?
That's AG. AG is an aggressive. So I guess the Piers is out for this Saturday, huh?
I don't know if that's me anymore.
That's hot, yo. You should rock that.
I was thinking maybe we could do something different.
Different like what?
I don't know, like maybe check out an open mic or something.
Open mic? Nah, man. There's plenty of chicks at the Piers. You just gotta be more confident. I mean, I haven't even wore this. You can rock that if you want. But I understand if you got better things to do.
No, I'm down.
I don't want you getting all hemmed up.
No, seriously. I'm down for whatever.
Real?
Promise.
I was impressed with Kim Wayans because I know her work and I've seen her before. I was so impressed with her taking on a dramatic role. I was just, when I first heard she was in the movie, I was like, okay, she's going to break out the character of Living Color. I just knew that. But what I saw was a woman that I felt for. That felt, she was trying to hold her family together.
Yeah, and thinking she was doing the right thing by her child.
By her child.
By enforcing whatever her beliefs were on her.
It was so many messages in that, you know. I picked up jealousy because the father and daughter relationship, you know, paying attention more to the daughter than you know, paying attention to the wife.
In addition to the loneliness and the longing that a character had. I mean, again, not to keep referencing Let's Talk Film, but Carolyn was joined us for that discussion, and one of the things that we had discussed were just how each of the characters themselves had been pariahs. Yes. In essence. All of them had been ostracized in some way. And again, without revealing too much, you know, Kim Wayne's character just in her workplace and how the rest of her co-workers had related to their daughters and them coming of age and her not having the same experience. And then the father, you know, with his relationship, his home life and relationship to the mother. So all of, I think, you know,
everybody's trying to find their place, because he had big secrets.
Exactly. And one of the things, I'm sorry,
go ahead.
Not to cut you off, but one of the things I wanted to mention, because I don't want you to sit there too quiet, was just how the music helped to usher in this story and helped to usher in the message. Can you tell us specifically what songs of yours were chosen?
Sure. I have a song called Echelon that was chosen, and also my old band Audio Dyslexia has a song Parallel. And for me, the music, the thing that's really interesting is it's a broad span from hip hop to acoustic to soul to indie rock, and again showing the diversity in Black musical tastes. You see Alike's character go from hanging out in more of a hip hop scene to suddenly being in the poetry rock scene, and that transition happens visually as well as sonically, and that kind of glued it together for me. It really shocked me how well it worked.
In regard to the funding, you know, how important it is to be diligent and to stick with trying to get a film like this produced.
I feel like there's, we were talking about before, there seems to be a new kind of grassroots community helping to get films out. I know here in New York we have Image Nation. I've been following a lot of their films. They seem to really be supportive of getting the word out about films pretty much right as soon as they're done.
Oh, wow.
And the ticket price might be higher, but that's helping the film to get distribution.
Yes.
Eventually you'll see it on PBS or even the Sundance Channel. So that seems to be something that's kind of brewing now, which is pretty exciting. But I think people do need to hear these stories to know not to give up, and that it doesn't cost that much to get your art out.
Now,
and then you can
now
also
today,
do
because
a
of the
short,
internet
exactly,
and all that.
with
Caller,
technology and everything.
Caller, you're watching Sister Talk TV show live. What's your question and comment?
You're watching Sister Talk TV.
You have to
My comment.
You have to turn your TV down.
Okay, ma'am, but I just
Thank
have a
you.
comment about
Okay,
it.
no, you have to turn your TV down. We're gonna fight. We're fighting.
I just don't want anything to go on to promote that type of activity amongst our people, because it's terrible that our people is involved in that, because our people is not even about that. It shouldn't even be about that. It's about doing the right thing, a man being with a freaking woman and a woman being with a freaking man. They don't need to know nothing else, and there ain't nothing that's promoting something like that is a bunch of crap.
Okay, thank you.
I'm just straight up telling you, all right? You can take it any.
Thank you. You know something? I think that's what
that's the one reason why this film should be made.
Right.
Exactly.
And it should.
There's people like that are just closed off, that will refuse to have a dialogue about something, and instead just shout out whatever they believe to be true or whatnot.
Right.
And I'm like, he's speaking from that standpoint, but he doesn't know who's in his family that may be gay that's scared to come out just because he's speaking like that.
And that's why so many people are are committing suicides because of that reaction. Caller, you're watching Sister Talk TV show live. I'm Deetra Kelsey, your host.
Hi.
Hi. You have to turn your TV down.
doing?
I'm okay. You have to turn your TV down.
This is a Spike Lee joint, this movie?
Well, is this a Spike Lee? No.
He funded it or something?
Well, he was executive producer.
And where's it playing?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's a good
over,
question.
at
Magic Johnson Theater,
Lincoln
Sunshine
Center.
Theater is at the
BAM,
Sunshine,
Brooklyn Academy of Music.
Can I make a comment?
Sure.
Yes.
I've been attracted to women, but I don't consider myself gay, and I don't consider myself bisexual. I prefer men. And for the brother who just called in hysteria, calm down, brother. All things work together for good. All things work together for good. And we love us some brothers. Have a nice day.
Thank
you.
I mean, just his comment was just so fascinating because, again, as you said, it's someone who's closed off, but again, doesn't appreciate the diversity that exists within the Black community.
Right.
I mean, you have all sorts of people, all sorts of.
And there's no cut line of who somebody is.
No.
There's always an exploration, discovery moment in your lifetime.
And we need to, we really need to talk about that.
In the Black arena, we are a little more, it's harder for us. It's harder for us to tolerate. It's harder for it's harder for us if we have these yearnings, the gay yearning, to let our parents know, let our neighbors know, let people see us. We would go.
Another don't ask, don't tell kind of thing.
Absolutely.
As long as you don't talk about it, don't put it in my face.
Yes, it doesn't exist.
Exactly.
Right. And then a lot of us in the Black realm, we live for the neighbors, you know? It really reminds me of the way that we live. It's reality. We can love, but we cannot. We can love, and we keep it behind closed doors. You know, we're always hiding things. So again, for this kind of film to come out, it's a coming out kind of thing. That's why you would have some of the people call in and not understand, not be mindful of looking at things from a different perspective. Sometimes I get these roles where they're really mean roles. I've noticed that I'm getting, but in terms of that character, primarily I steep myself into the whole mindset of being that hard religious type person. And even though I have the love of my daughter, and I really want her there, like she's here, were she to come back into my house, into my life, how am I going to explain that to the neighbors? How am I going to explain that to the Lord upstairs? You know, that whole process. It can't be allowed. So even though I yearn for that closeness, it has to stay outside.
How did you prepare for that role? Because nowadays they're talking about 2 weeks of rehearsal, not even 2 weeks. You know, 1 week of rehearsal, and they want you to get the role right away. How did you prepare for that role?
Well, basically, it's reading the script, like I said earlier, but really just studying the character in that script and making that connection with myself and the character and how I related to her and where she came from, and making sure she had a heart and that you knew what she went through and that she wasn't just acting, or she wasn't just acting any kind of way because she wanted to act that way, or it had no meaning underneath it. There was a heart underneath it. So many times, even when you see these young people, they're wearing like the hip hop and the hip hop gear, and they have this swagger and everything else, but now that I'm encountering them as a teacher, they have so many things going on underneath, like the family situation, that's just an affect of whatever's going on.
Okay, you play that role so well.
Thank you.
I talked to some friends about that, the character development. One of the questions they wanted me to ask you, did you ever date any lesbians to get into their role?
No.
Wow. Indeed.
I tell you what I did do. Well, the training that I had allowed me to just really be transformative. And I love transformative actors like Jeffrey Wright, Christina Ricci, Glenn Close. I just really study those people like Al Pacino, Lawrence Fishburne, Angela Bassett, to really know the world from the inside out.
Right.
You know, and that technique is just what separates someone that did like a cliche performance, stereotypical swagger, no heart inside, to where a humane performance of the artist, the craft is there. You know, so that's where I come from. I come from like, you know, kind of
MFA in acting.
I have a question.
MFA,
so if you were to break down your character into different characters, or excuse me, if we were to break down your character into, let's say, a collage, who would you say were the different characters that you pieced together to make Laura?
Well, I know she loved hip hop, so you have that element, and the family situation that wasn't really on the right side. It wasn't anybody that I pieced together.
Okay.
I just took from my own life, where I used to be a tomboy, and I just really connected with her and that level, that human level. I couldn't just piece together this one, because then you'd be like, who is she? I mean, she's so specifically defined in the writing. The writing, it all comes down to the writing. When the writing is well written, most of your work is done. You already know what direction to go in. Now, to finesse it, to get that heart and that emotional vulnerability, even dealing with the mother, that wasn't a long scene.
Right.
You know, but it had to have that heart in there, that relation. And I thank Dee for making up memories outside of the film, like relationship memories through letter writing exercises to my sister. We go back and forth. Even the way we were off camera, she was very mothering to me and very giving and generous, and I so appreciate that, because it's not easy to just be naked, emotionally naked on camera, to let the heart show, even though it's easier to just have swag and whatnot, but I had to get to the center of who it is that made her tick.
I'm glad you said that, because there are a lot of young people out here that think that they could just jump into these roles and it's so easy. But it's not like that. And it's also refreshing to see real actors. And I look at that. I look at that because of, you know, the rappers, the singers, and all that.
Models trying to be actors.
But there are people out here just like you and everybody else that work hard, study, and to perfect that title of being an actor. One thing I do like about Sister Talk is that we try to give Black women, particularly women of color, a voice. We all do not think alike. Carolyn, honey child, when people say you sing, what do they immediately think of?
Oh, when people ask if I say I'm a musician, they immediately assume, 1, I'm a singer, 2, I'm an R&B singer, and 3, I don't write my own music. Instantly. Male, female, any ethnic background, across the board.
Okay. Look here, we have to wrap it up. You have
Oh,
more
wow.
question?
I just wanted to say that overall Pariah is a film of complex relationships, but really it's a story of friendship. When I look at your character, Laura, and this the support that she gives to Alike, it's so powerful. It transcends any other friendship that I've seen in any other film for quite some time. And I think more than anything, it just really shows people how to be supportive to their friends when they're going through a hardship, because I learned something through Laura and Alike's relationship. So thank you for bringing that to light. And thank you for that it was a small scene, but it was really a turning point in the film. And thank you for adding the music that added to the emotionality to really tell the whole story. So it was wonderful.
Thank you for having us. Thank you.
Yes,
Thank you for
for
coming.
having
Thank
us.
you for coming. Okay, we're going to wrap it up. This is Sister Talk TV show after the show. I'm Deidre Kelsey, your host. Tune in next time. And I also want to welcome our viewers from Bounce TV. Again, this is Deidre Kelsey, and I'm wishing you peace, love, and light. Bye.